For those of you, ladies and gentlemen, that are watching us on different social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, thank you so much for joining us as well. And those that are on Spirit TV, a place for you. Thank you so much for coming on. And the questions, we can clearly see them as we scroll through all the streams. We're going to be answering those questions. And for those of us that come here every single Friday at Thobani Center, in our auditorium, in our rooms, in our workshops, we get to talk about so many different things, dissect and be able to answer some of the questions that we face on a daily. So in case you are going through such, do not hesitate. Reach out to us, reach out to some of the coaching community, reach out to some of our members. Some of our members, by the way, are business people that are baking cakes, that are at NASA, printing, that are graphic designers. Some of them are photographers. We have a diverse kind of a business community in this place, and there is no way you can fail to fit in. So come join us every Friday, and then on Thursday, Spirit TV will be live on all social media platforms. Will be live. Thank you so much. And we get into this session today, and I want us to have an icebreaker because we're going to talk about decisions. But you realize that everything that we do in life is a decision, right? Everything in life we do is a decision. And if we are very honest with ourselves, let me even have this chat with you while seated, because it's going to be, an interesting chat. While many of us fail to be honest about where we are, to own up and say, I am a result and I am an addition, a totality of all the decisions I have made before. Whether I know them or I don't know them, they have groomed me, they have shaped me, they have beaten me down, and they have shaken me together, and they have presented this version of me. Because our decisions literally make us. So now, whether you decided to sleep some seasons, whether you decided to give up on life some seasons, all those things are going to be an addition, and they're going to be showing up. That is why when you look at some people, they look like they have given up on life. And you can literally see that. You look at some people and it seems like they are fresh from heaven, and it seems they have no problem at all. And you're like, how do you do it? I think you've seen people asking. And then you're like, you know what? Some of them definitely will give you the brushing answers of, I gave up on I gave up on people, but meaning that they made certain crucial decisions, and some of those decisions are what they're telling you, that I gave up on people. And indeed, they gave up on people. And they created an island, a bubble in which they live, where they're just determining, what do I put on, what do I eat, what do I, and they just gave up because maybe one person backstabbed them, or one person betrayed them, or another person, did something that they did not expect, and all of a sudden, they cut the communication, they cut the links, and then they even burnt the bridges. So you find someone, and then you ask them, 20 years or 10 years, they have lost someone and they're going alone. They don't have even a community around them. When you ask them and you're like, but don't you have people around you? They're like, now, that decision has made them who they are. They isolated themselves for so long that they don't know how to relate with other people, or even to bring them in. And then, I've said this so many times, that some of us hide under the cover of being introverts. How many of us have hidden under the cover of being introverts for the longest time? I'm an introvert, so, I'm not really into people. But you made an informed decision. At a time where someone did something so bad to you, you locked everyone out. So we are the totality of our decisions. But today, the word that I feel so hard on my heart is, your season of reckless decision is over. Your season of reckless decisions is over. And I want you to note that down. That my season of reckless decisions, because some of us have made reckless decisions after reckless decisions, and then some of us have made unintentional decisions we've not intended, like they happen by accident. We fall in love by Accident. We get pregnant by? We give birth by? We even end up, being harassed by? Like so many things have happened. But when you look back, and some of us live in a bubble of regrets where we're looking back and like, how did I go through this? Like, you clearly cannot see yourself in that moment. That there is a boss that cornered you into a bathroom and kissed you, and because you were thinking of saving your job, you went ahead and allowed to be kissed and even kissed back. Those things happen. While a certain boss, you're moving out of his office, he even taps on your bum, and then you go ahead and you're still shaking them and you move out. Because that is a decision. Indecisiveness is a decision, and a very loud decision. Because now that he has done it, he has opened a door that it's never going to stop. Next time he's going to tap on your breast, and next time he's going to tap on God knows what. Sorry? But why? When someone asks you, like, but jobs, it's very hard to get jobs in Kampala. I know it's hard to get jobs in Kampala. And later we're going to talk about the enemies of decision making. But for as long as, and let me say it now, for as long as our values do not align, making decision becomes very hard. You know your values? Your basic values? When you determine your values and you're like, okay, for example, religions have values, right? Now, when a religion has values, like it's non-negotiable. Unless someone just wants to get out of that kind of alignment and intentionally. You will find a Protestant who is taking booze. But if you ask them, her religion does not accept that. So there is a value, but remember, that's not a personal value. A religious value is not a personal value. Now, we ought to have personal values. Now, the personal values make it so easy for us to make decisions because half the time the decisions have been made by our values. If you're like, you know what, I cannot be in such a place at such a time. You made that value and you stuck to it. So even when someone invites you and is like, you know what, Chikubide, no, it's midnight, but come, the party is hot. You listen, you're like, I even don't know what to tell you, but I'm getting back to bed. If your value is no sex before marriage, I know that's a very hard value. But again, if that is your value, it's not going to cause you to say a lot of no's and then deciding, do I want it, do I not want it? No. You have set a value for yourself and said no. And that is the first thing you will even communicate in a relationship. If you're the kind of person who thought this is going to happen, you're in for a long ride. So you either keep on, we go the way we are going, and at the right time, things will happen. But if you hope that you're going to fast track this, you're going to, when someone fails to get through, to penetrate through your values, they will use old tricks. They will either come to your place at night, or they will invite you to their place at night, or they will take you for a late movie, or they will do anything that puts you in a situation that is compromising. But a person that has set a value is someone who says, on sanze ntunula. And by the way, sometimes you will even refuse compromising situations. You'll be like, why do I come to your place past midnight? Why? Even if it rained, I can go back to my home. Let it rain on me. I will get back home and bathe and sleep. As in, we will make certain hard decisions because people have compromised on their values and they have made a wrong decision in a blink of an eye, and that decision has decided the trajectory of their lives. Okay? So, I want us to say it with me, that my season of reckless decisions is over. I want you to mean it while you're saying it. My season of reckless decisions is over. My finances are going to change. That should be your proclamation. My relationships are going to change. my family is going to change. Because when you change the core of how you decide, then the decisions that you make become a firm foundation for an overhaul of everything that is happening in your life. It's very important, very important. I can't not stress how important decisions are, but we have made decisions on a daily, and that is why it is really on my heart today, and I want us to know that these three things, your decisions will either sink you, make you survive, or make you thrive. Three things. Your decisions will either sink you. You make a decision, and from the time you make that decision, you start a downward trend that is so fast. And when you're falling, by the way, let me tell you, whenever you see someone falling, never think you are too strong to catch them. Give them way. Yes. There are some people that make decisions, and they're falling at a very high rate, and while they are falling, they don't know they are falling. Okay? But they're falling with a very big... Have you ever seen someone in a free fall? They are literally heavy because they have no control of their body parts, right? So when they fall on you, chances are they are going down with you. So the best thing is to wait for them to get to a place of stopping. And when they stop, then you can face them and not to gloat over them and tell them, I told you. Because sometimes we will have warned them. Has someone ever gone through something? You warned them. Maybe you're a mother. You warned your daughter and you told them all the bad things, that are waiting, even the sons. And all of a sudden, they come with a bad report. You sit them down and then you look into their eye and re-echo the same message, not gloating over them and telling them that, you know what, I told you this would happen, okay? But going through the basics again. But sometimes they need time to recover. They need time to put themselves together. They need time to know and understand that, by the way, I'm in deep problems. Have you seen people that have made bad decisions but they don't know they're in problems? They literally don't know that you're the one looking from outside, inside, you're thinking, how is this person going to survive? But for them, they're having the fun of their lives. Like, it doesn't matter. Okay? So your decisions either sink you, they make you survive. If you make sheepish kind of decisions, they make you survive. You live a survival. I told you surviving is very bad. Okay? Though we go through surviving, and then we get into thriving. Now, when you take long in the survival mode, that is why I've said that your season of reckless decisions that have been making you sink, that have been keeping you at a survival mode, is actually finished. It's over. Because past this, if we have talked about and shared all these messages, and you still continue making the reckless decisions, the regrets are going to be so painful because you're going to be so sober. Have you seen someone who is so sober to feel what they are going through? They are so painful. And I don't want you to face that. So let's go very slow today as we talk about decisions. Because we're going to still share and ask about decisions, okay? Let's talk about clarity. If you want to make better decisions, and today we're just going to talk about three things, not more things. Let's talk about clarity. How do you make better decisions? How do you make better decisions? Now, while we talk about decisions, I am reminded, because I like Bible references, I'm reminded of the part in Deuteronomy, which some of you are going to remind me, but it talks about that I have placed life and... Where? Before you. Let me just, I love that just for reference purposes, very, very quickly. I am not going to take you there, but I just love how this sounds. 19, it says, that is 30:19, it says, I call heaven and earth to witness against you today that I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Do you know, when I read it, after I actually read it after I just got out. I remembered, decision making, and it related to this. And it says that I have called heaven and earth to witness against you today, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse, and says, therefore choose life that you and your offspring live. But what made me laugh was that I have called heaven and earth to witness against you. In other words, God was like, I am not going to gamble with these people. I got tired of them long time ago. I am not going to gamble. I am not going to be just you and me, your word against mine. No. Let me call heaven and earth to come and witness against you. That I have given you the decisions in your hands, the life and death, the curse and blessing. Now, that is, you would think it is the easiest thing because we all know the right decisions to make, right? We all know the right decisions to make. But I think God went in this verse and said, but please choose life. He knew he's dealing with human beings that are very hard. That even when they know the right thing to decide, they will do the opposite. They know there is a blessing to choose, but they will choose a curse. They know there is life to choose, but they will choose death. Because a bad decision starts a chain of events that eventually lead you to death. If you heap a bad decision upon a bad decision and another bad decision, before you know it, you are irredeemable. That even yourself, you feel you cannot go back to undo what you have done. Like, it's so hard. Right now, I know that we are all redeemable. We are not all done. We have not all given up on ourselves. But it says that choose life. That you and your offsprings, and I usually like to refer to enough of the reference, I usually like to refer to our offsprings and the different generations, that the decisions that you're making right now are actually having a lot of repercussions on the generation that you will never see. Or even on the generation of your children, your own children, your children's children. So if you're supposed to leave inheritance, you're not going to be able to leave inheritance. Why? Because you were spending on impulse. Because you bought all the dresses on earth, the pink one and the red one and the blue one and the maroon one, and because you wanted them all in all shades. You decided on earth, that is where we have relationships. So I'm a man, and as a man, I was created to have everything that I want. So I will have every Rose, Patricia, and whoever it is, and Jane. And then, no Ambagatana, you hold on to a lot. Before you know it, you're in a sexual network. Before you know it, that sexual network has brought many problems to you. These days you've had, there are viral infections that cannot heal, right? You've heard of gonorrheas that cannot heal, that doctors have tried to treat. They even say that it's a worm that enters you. So I'm only thinking, where does a worm pass? I think I need a doctor to explain to you. Where does a worm pass? Because this is an STD, sexually transmitted disease. But some of those things are coming because of the so many reckless decisions that people are making. You're not going to be the savior of all women. Oh, women are more than men, so that gives you what? While you're saving all the women, you are actually losing your peace of mind. Because, my friend, if they say women quarrel or women are hard to manage, just imagine you have 5 of them. This one is quarreling at the back. This one is on chat. This one feels dissatisfied, is going with another man while you're chasing after that one. This one is cursing and talking about, all hell everywhere. And then you're thinking, guy, you need the peace of mind. But again, you give it to yourself. No one is going to give it to you. So, when we talk about clarity, and that is the number one point if you want to make a better decision, I want you to be able to ask yourself, why exactly am I making this decision?